So parents, you do not just so much for your kids, you guys do everything for them, right? In a way, you're kind of like a prisoner of war, right? I mean, you're sleep deprived and you're shackled in a way to adorableness, like cuteness, but yeah, like prisoner of war. Which is why I don't have any, but one of the reasons why. But I appreciate that you guys have them because, they're adorable and I get to hang out with adorableness and, give them back to you. But being that parents do pretty much everything in your power for your kids, what's a surprising thing that most parents do not do for their kids? The surprising thing that most parents don't do for their kids that can provide a massive financial foundation for them is through a credit card. I know, just stay with me, okay? I'm not talking about opening a credit card for your 5-year-old, okay? Because you can't do that until they're 18 anyways. What I'm talking about is adding your kid on as an authorized user to your credit card. And there are pros and cons to this. The main one being that if you have a 780 credit score, like how amazing would it be that when your kid turns 18, that they have a 780 credit score instead of starting from scratch? Like what a massive head start would that be? And maybe you're watching this video thinking, well, it'd be great if I had a 780 credit score, let alone my kid. Well, we have other videos to help you with that. Now, I'm gonna go over pros and cons to doing this. The main cons are gonna be if you don't have a good credit score, do not add your children on as an authorized user because they're gonna inherit, like they're gonna get all of your credit history. So please don't do that, okay? The other bad thing could be that, we don't know what life will bring us, right? You could have some financial cataclysmic thing happen. And then, your kid would have that on their history too. But usually if you're going to have some financial cataclysmic thing happen, you can remove your kid from being an authorized user because you're probably going to see it coming. Like it's not like going to be one day you wake up and you go from a 780 credit score to a 550. Like that's typically not what happens. The other drawback is that a lot of reporting is catching on to the fact that people are adding authorized users on to get all of that history. So some companies are pulling back from that, but most are still allowing it. So the main pros are just that. Your kid will have credit history. So instead of starting at 18 from scratch, right? Like, starting square one at 18 instead of starting square 100, they're gonna have history. They're probably not gonna need you to sign on for a auto loan like cosign. Probably have cheaper auto insurance because you know what, your credit score plays a part in your auto insurance. And then the kid, I say kid, at the 18-year-old or 22, whatever age that, they decide to get a credit card, is that they don't have to start with a secure card or a student card. And there's nothing wrong with both of those things. But if you can prevent that from happening because you already gave them that head start, like how cool is that? So when I say authorized user, like you can put your 5-year-old on as an authorized user and you don't have to give them the card, right? You just put them on as an authorized user and put the card away. It doesn't have to be used, but they will just get that history because they're on the card. Now, I do think it would be great, if more families talked about finances, right? I do think it was kind of one of the quirkiest things. Like I wasn't allowed to date throughout high school. I think that's a common phenomenon, right? And I wasn't allowed to date at all. And then it was funny, I went to college and like the first weekend back home, it was like, where's your boyfriend? I was like, I'm allowed to have one now, and there was like something wrong with me because I didn't have one. So I think it's kind of like that with finances. I've heard so many families say, like so many parents say to their kids, adults are talking business right now, like leave the room. And then when they turn 18 or whatever age, like we're shocked that they don't know anything about money because we didn't talk about it with them the whole time, So I do think that conversation would be good. And if they, started being able to use a credit card as a teenager, just to start to learn to use that responsibility, right? I know that there are people out there who think credit cards are horrible. You should stay away from them. But credit cards are a tool, right? A tool is just, everything's just in the power of the holder, So a hammer in the hands of a carpenter, probably build something amazing, right? Hammer in the hands of like a massacre, person, probably not so good, So remember, it's just a tool, but this can help massively because, like it or not, we need credit, like to buy a house, to buy a car, to, some jobs, security clearances and things like that. They want you to have good credit. So this can be a huge way to give your kid or kids a jump start. Thanks so much.